But I'm just curious, like, what's the psychology going on in people that they know something is wrong, but they just kind of
Mhm.
they just turn around and walk away?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons psychologically. One of them is we've talked a little bit about, and one of them is they've either identified with the aggressor and that they're gonna stay there. They're gonna, no matter whether they even know if it's right or wrong, or they're frightened of the aggressor, and they're so afraid to go against the aggressor because they feel like they'll be the next one attacked, which they could be. They could be. There are many people in the United States who have done peace marches and marches for women and marches for Black Lives Matter and marches for the for the 99% who have been attacked, with rubber bullets, with tear gas, and injured and jailed for exercising what is supposed to be our right to a peaceful demonstration here in America. And so there's a lot of fear of standing up to an abusive authority, just like the same fear exists in a child in an abusive home. What happens to a child who stands up to an abuser? Usually they get abused worse. So they've learned to comply. Or, and I've seen this too in families, and we definitely see this here in America, and you probably see this around the world, is that people are rewarded for being complicit with the abuser. They get more money, they get more power, they get more influence, they get a better job, they get a share in a company or whatever they get. And so there's a payoff for turning the other way. There's a payoff for actually attacking someone who will speak truth to the power that they are. So and these are all psychological dynamics. These are exactly the dynamics. I've seen all of them play out in individual families that were dysfunctional and abusive, where, one child was rewarded for actually being complicit in the abuse of another child. I mean, that's abuse. And how does that child grow up? How do they grow up? Who do they become in the world? What can we expect if we don't actually look at this through a psychological lens and keep speaking up? I mean, when I first became a therapist, first of all, I'm an introvert. You wouldn't know it, but I'm an introvert by nature. Did I ever think I would be talking on podcasts or writing a book that spoke to my country? No, it was the last thing I ever wanted. But I felt compelled to do that because for exactly the same reason that you're talking about. If you see it, you have to say something. Or, we want to say something, and I want to say something. And I want to say so much about what I think we need to shift in order to break this cycle of abuse.